On your knees, all of you. The hero before us deposed the false king. I am Lord Sergei Thule, apprentice of Darth Victus, and the first of House Thule to survive the Sith Academy.
His lordship will seize the throne you made vacant.
Fate willing. But my ascension must wait. Alderaan is in a state of anarchy, and a threat greater than the Ulgo usurpers rears its head.
You're a would-be Sith and a would-be ruler. You think what threatens you frightens me?
His blood is royal and strong in the Force. What of yours?
We haven't time to bicker. The Killiks are stirring, legion upon legion. They've already devoured the armies of Kalnosh and Antilles. The people fear it's the Killik Black Hive returning after a millennium underground. I'm not a superstitious man, but I know disaster when I see it.
Don't tell me House Thule and the Imperial Army can't handle an infestation.
No enemy can survive the fury of Empire and Thule together. But the Black Hive is not our only foe. They're the worst of the Killik broods. The lesser nests fled to the surface to escape being cannibalized by their savage kin.
Yet if his lordship turns his attention to the Killiks, the other houses will destroy Thule.
Moff Sarek and I proposed to use small strike teams against the Black Hive, and he advised you take lead. Succeed, and House Thule can focus on winning the planet. Fail, and Killiks of every size will swarm over Alderaan, and all of us will be joiners.
I'm afraid you're mistaking me for someone with loyalty to Thule.
How dare you?
My authority comes from Darth Victus and Moff Sarek. Defy them, and you defy the entire Empire. We do have one other ally. Chanya Madal, a member of the Order of Extermination, has agreed to help us.
For 20 millennia, members of the Order have forsaken house ties and worldly possessions to protect us from the Killiks. During the Hive's century sleep, the Order watches and prepares. When the Hives awake, they spread fire.
They number barely a handful now. Madal has no loyalty to Thule, but she's our best hope against these monsters.
This isn't my war, and the rest of the galaxy awaits. I make no promises, Thule.
Consider the consequences if Alderaan falls because of you. Go to Madal and listen to her advice, but be careful what you reveal. Remember, she is not one of us.
In the swarm, the flame will guide me. In hardship, I will endure.
Chanya Madal, Sergei Thule sent me.
What? Of course. Allies of the Sith who would be king. On behalf of the Knights of the Order of Extermination and the Blood of Alderaan, I offer my services in the war against the Killiks. Ventadia Droth, Kano Fora.
I don't care about your order or its rituals. Tell me who we're killing and how.
Is that all this is to you? Mayhem without reason? For 20,000 years, my order has fought the nests. We know their hibernation cycles, the secrets of their joiners. We should be advising the armies of a united planet. Instead, we're a handful against the Black Hive.
Maybe you'd rather fight the Killiks without me.
That isn't what I meant. Please, forgive me. The last time the Black Hive emerged, it left whole cities in ruins. Its Killiks are monstrous, and their bloodlust grows with every joiner they absorb. I've been strategizing with the Imperial strike teams. They're making progress, but not enough. You should meet with them. Lead our efforts.
You'll learn quickly if you haven't already. We're fighting a war of fools. Rely on no one.
I would lay down my life to keep one Alderaanian fool from becoming a Killik joiner. Come, and I'll anoint you with the Chanmasu herbs. Whether you believe in ritual or not, the scent will discourage your foe. And be guided by the Codex Chitinus and the First Huntsman. See to the others, and I'll continue to search for weaknesses.
Well, look who's here. You're the Sith who carved through half of Balmorra. Sergeant Namada, Bug Hunter Division. My squad came here off colloquy duty. It's an honor to meet you.
Am I supposed to care?
Begging your pardon. I'll get to our status then, assuming you're interested. Team's supposed to contain the Killik threat, so House Thule's free to work. Fine plan, but Science Bureau has us trying out a tractor tech like this brood totem device they gave us. Lures Killiks into enemy territory.
That's somewhat intriguing.
Got green lights, smells like iron, makes a high-pitched chittering sound. Like what a droid would build if he worshipped roaches. We dropped the totem off in Killik territory so it could synchronize pheromones. We barely survived. Now we need to move it to Organa territory for testing. We carry chitin-piercing rounds and insecticide gas. We can't fight Organa troops. But you assist, like on Balmorra, this lure project might move forward.
Is there going to be plenty of death involved?
You'd have to slaughter Killiks on the way to the device, get it near Organa troops and see if the lure works. Dangerous enough? Just be careful you don't lure in too many Killiks. They're not like colicoids. They take prisoners and, well, better not to know.
The brood totem works. It lured the Killiks to the Organa forces.
The science boys will be happy. Me, I hope it means we go back to killing aliens instead of baiting them. It's been a pleasure to see you in action. You ever need a hive extraction team or a couple tons of xenotoxic torpedoes, you give the bug hunters a call.
You are viewing restricted information.
I can't track the Killiks without satellite data.
Your confession has been recorded.
This is madness. Sith, tell him. I'm not after your military secrets, but I can't fight blind.
You're a guest of the Empire. But there are limits to Imperial hospitality. Do not step out of line again.
I grant that I have trespassed. I apologize. You can supervise me as I check my data, then I'll show you what I found. The Black Hive is hurting from what you've done, and I think I've found one of their weaknesses. Months ago, King Ulgo became aware of the extent of the Killik threat. Instead of alerting my order, he tried to hide the problem by hiring mercenaries.
Ulgo went with off-worlders instead of Alderaan's own ancient protectors. You must be crushed.
I assume he didn't think we'd be loyal. We would have been. The mercenary group was called Blood Company, run by an alien warlord who was part of the Manan atrocities, according to your files. Blood Company was absorbed by the Hive mind. They all became joiners, and their knowledge and savagery spread to the Killiks.
I'm getting tired of crushing insects. Mercenaries could make things interesting.
I don't understand how you can talk like that. Using the Order's lore and Imperial technology, I've made a bait that should lure in the joiners if used at the right locations. I'll entrust it to you. I'd be torn apart myself, but someone has to save this world.
This world is nothing more than a resource to be drained. You're fortunate we need you at all.
At least you're honest about it. If you can destroy the joiners, the nest will start to unravel. There's a base farther out. We should move there next. Good hunting.
Lieutenant, Chanya Madal of the Order of Extermination sent me.
My lord, holocoms are online. We'll put you through.
This is Sergei Thule on the Eastern Front. We're dealing with another Organa attack. How do we fare against the Killiks?
Your team managed to disrupt the war mind of the Black Hive.
Is that right?
I am grateful to you. The joiners were the key, and you risked body and spirit to stop them.
I've proven myself to far more powerful people than you. It's time you recognized that.
You're right. I'm tremendously grateful for all you've done. It's becoming clear that House Thule is the only house devoted to the Killiks' elimination. I'll continue advising your teams, Lord Sergei. Chanya out.
You're winning the hearts of the people. Pity she may be trouble.
The Killiks are weakened, and soon the Black Nest will fall. After that, Chanya Madal will be unnecessary.
True enough. Wipe the remnants of the Killik forces off the planet, and watch for the other houses. The fewer the bugs, the more they'll encroach.
This is unacceptable. I sent researchers out 2-3 hours ago, and still they haven't returned. We shouldn't have to tolerate such incompetence, my lord. Makes a stomach churn. Perhaps you could assist where these indolent researchers failed. I need that relic. I need it now.
And what exactly is in it for me?
I'll double the researcher's fee. Anything for the artifact. It holds ancient texts detailing a time when Killiks ruled Alderaan. Records of Ouroboros, the Killik's castle lands, their rise and their fall. With the relic's information, we could potentially drive back the Killiks, or control them.
Why bother controlling the Killiks when we can slaughter them all and be done with it?
That seems a tad harsh, even if it could be done. Everything rests on the relic's recovery, and I've wasted enough time waiting on my inept researchers. Perhaps you can repair their blunder. Recover the relic?
This better be worth my while.
If I weren't confident, I'd be in my estate sipping Alderaanian brandy. The relic lies among ruins atop the nearby mountain. If you see my researchers, feel free to push them down the mountainside.
Here's the relic. I hope it contains the Killik records you expected.
Finally, it's in my hands. Our Killik experts will be thrilled. I appreciate your haste. You certainly shamed those pathetic researchers of mine, wherever they are.
Did you forget to mention that the mountain was swarming with Killiks?
Believe me, I had no idea. Perhaps the Hive Mind knew of the relic's importance. At any rate, they can't stop us now. Soon we'll drive the Killiks into submission. Then Alderaan will finally bow to House Thule.
Lord Sergei Thule.
My friend, 2 hours ago I took the head of one of Organa's generals. The battle was glorious.
You shall be our beloved king.
But only because you held the other front. How high were Killik bodies piled by the time you were through? How many joiners fell at your feet?
If you're curious, why don't you face the Killiks, and I'll fight the nobles?
If the opportunity arises, perhaps I will.
You wished to present the message, my lord?
Yes. Our ally in the Order of Extermination passed this along.
The Black Hive has crumbled. Their Killiks are in retreat, and collapsing their tunnels should be simple. I'm sorry I can't say this in person. I'm heading out for aerial reconnaissance. But I want to recognize your efforts. In the name of the First Huntsman, by the Stone of Chianar, I pronounce you Brethren of the Order. We will remember you always.
Generous as the sentiment may be, it's time we eliminated her. She knows you, she knows Thule's secrets, and her usefulness is over.
Her reconnaissance mission can end badly. Will you arrange it?
Of course, it's a reasonable plan.
I will make contact.
We've worked well together, you and I. When the opposition finally collapses, your support of my kingship would be invaluable.
You're ambitious, but the people won't support a Thule-turned-Sith. And the Empire needs a king who can be controlled.
We shall see. I must return to the battlefield, but I wish you well in your travels. What you've seen here on Alderaan, it's only the start for the galaxy.